How do? My name is Callus, and this is a video on which I believe to be the highest population ever achieved in a game called Banished. This video is going to be about the strategy I adopted to get a high population, but before I do, a couple of shoutouts. First, go to Luke Hadarowitz, and I apologise if I've got your surname wrong, but he is the guy I believe who created this game. Just one dude. Sir, you are a genius. Second one, go out to Der Cossack, who's a YouTuber, whose YouTube video basically gave me the drive to achieve this, or try to at least. So we're going to keep this in pause, just because when I unpause you can see it lags like a piece of shit. It's not the game's fault, it just isn't meant to be pushed to its limits like this, and I just love pushing games to their limits. So we'll keep that on pause, and as I explain, I'm going to give you a quick tour. I'm sure you guys want to see how I got things set out and that. So yeah, the main reason why I want to do this is one, obviously the challenge, and two, I wanted to do it, there you go, old trade dude, come on, is to do it nice and neat and clean and tidy. No random placements or whatever. I'm sure you can maximise the map a lot more, but I wanted to make it, well, say, you know, symmetrical like this when it can be, and just aesthetically pleasing. I got a little bit of OCD about it. So yeah, as you can see, it's nice and clean and tidy, nothing out in the open or mismatched or whatever. You can see this is my main trade point. I only got one trade post, by the way. I feel so if you have more, you can, I don't know, cheat a little bit just by getting a lot more resources than you could probably handle. I wanted to be self-sufficient. No, it's not really rely on the trade post, but I do rely on the trade post, as I will explain in a sec. My main trade is going to be warm coats, but I feel as though I should have had a ratio of 2 to 1 cattle, 2 cattle, 1 sheep. You always end up with more wool than you do leather, even though you got hunters and that going. Deer population died down and you're still going to have loads more wool. So I probably should have done that ratio, but that's hindsight. I still managed quite fine, occasionally changing to wool coats when I had a lot more wool. So, strategy I adopted. The first thing you're going to come up against, the first problem is going to be fuel. That is going to be your main problem. In the long run, you've got to survive long enough for you to spread out in the entirety of the map, as well as have enough coal, because coal is a finite resource, and obviously firewood is an infinite resource, but you're going to need the land in order to build your houses and your farms and that type of thing. So you can't have too many mines, pretty much. Well, you can, but they're all going to be on the outside, and you can't have hardly any woodcutters and that type of thing, because you're going to need the land. So fuel is going to be your main problem, because once your mines run out, you're bollocks. So it's sort of like a time limit, if you will, pretty much. So what I done, I started round about here, and I wanted I think I was round about here, something like that. I wanted an area to be completely self-sufficient on its own, so I know that I've got like I suppose a base of operations, I guess. So I started sort of here, roughly, you know, just a couple of houses, you know, as you do, and then I just built this area up as quickly as I could, yeah, as the population built up, and this area is completely self-sufficient. The whole of the map can blow up. This area will survive completely and utterly, apart from clothing, but you don't really need clothing. And so as I was building up this area, all along here, I had a road going all the way along here, same one you can see here, but obviously it wasn't stone, and I had just foresters and woodcutters all the way, amassed about 20,000, 30,000 firewood, dismantled all the buildings, shipped it all back here, and there's all stockpiles along here, and that gave me enough time so I didn't need to get coal straight away, just so when my population really started to go mental, I had enough, I'm going to have enough coal to last me until I get 3,000 population. As I say, other people might have different strategies, but this is the one I adopted. So that was my first part of the strategy. Then once I got the firewood there, I spread out to the edges first. Obviously I wanted to get my coal mines sorted, getting them sorted, and then I spread north, and then I spread all the way along to the east, you know, doing sort of mines along the way like here and here. Once I got those areas done, I then sat pretty until I built up to about 2,500 population, which which I could show you actually in Town Hall, which I could actually just click on it like this. Yeah, look at this, look, crazy. So I got to about 2,500 population, and then I just let all the old die off pretty much. So all the houses were populated, inhabited should I say, by young couples or middle-aged couples pretty much. As you see, it went down to about 2,000 population. I think I had a disease of typhus that hit me quite hard, but that probably only helped me. And I just yeah, let the population die down to about 2,000. I stockpiled about 4,000 stone. I think I had about 1,000 iron, and then I just went mental with building houses. I had already had a lot. At that point, I had the rest of the map already pre-planned, which I tell you take a long time if you want to pre-plan something that looks like this, rather than just placing things sporadically and randomly. Yeah, I just went mental with building houses, and to help me out with that, I accepted all the nomads I could get. I can't remember how many. This should show 1, 2, 3. 3 loads of nomads around about that time as well, and that just boosted my population. In not too many years, look at how this grew. Yeah, so from 2,000 to all the way up to wherever I am now, in a matter of, I don't know, what would that be? What year am I on? I don't know, about 15 years? Maybe. Quite a significant increase. So you've got to really sort of rush it, otherwise the slower you build up the population, the more food you consuming, the more coal they're consuming, and you've got to run out. I have got a few mines left, but you know, I give it a couple of years and I'll probably be done. I'd say I'll have some cold houses and that type of thing, and you know, stone house can survive one winter without any fuel, but yeah, it just starts going downhill. The idea is to get a population in which it's self-sufficient, and it's only now it's gone over the precipice where it's not self-sufficient anymore. My stockpiles are dwindling, as you can see. Even my tailors and blacksmiths are not being able to keep up with the demand of the amount of population I've got. These are stuck on 500 years, but you know, now they can't produce enough of them. Yeah. So, oh yeah, no, the most bloody important bit is citizens. 3,545 population. I'd imagine maybe at the end of this year I could be lucky and get to 3,600, but like I said, that to this point is the point when it's self-sufficient. Up until this point, it's been self-sufficient. Afterwards, yeah, it's not going to be. So we'll say 3,500 just to make it a nice round number. Yeah. So that's what I done. That's how I achieved it, and I would say that it takes a lot of planning, and a lot of time as well. Definitely a lot of time, because when you get to about 2,000 population, the game lags quite a lot, and you're waiting about 5 minutes to build one house. Yeah, it's not fun, but hey, you know, if you're a masochist, go for it. I'm up to the challenge. Anything else? Yes. To get this, some of the neatness in, you know, you Banished players know when you get that one little red square where you're trying to put a bloody farm down or a large pasture. Yeah, how annoying is that? And to get some mines placed, oh, the mountainous region just isn't quite right. It's only there to be a pain in the ass. If you want to have aesthetically pleasing settlements, you have to have this mod, the flattened terrain tool. It's got to be done, and I believe it should have been something should have been shipped with the game, to be honest. Well, you know, it's debatable, but I cannot play this game without this mod. Definitely not. And I was only using it for, you know, when you got that one red dot, you know, and then you got to base your settlement around that. Fuck that. I ain't doing that. I want to be nice and even and neat, and to put your farms around one little fucking red dot that is spoiling it. Yeah, it's just a pain in the ass. And also you can create nice sort of straight lines for your mines like this along the edges, which is pretty much what I've done. And you know, you get the tributaries going right through your bloody land, and you know, they're there to serve no other purpose to be a fucking pain in the ass. So that's what I got rid of, just to make sure I get a nice, neat, clean, tidy settlement. Yeah, that's the end of the video. If you like, give me a like. Laters.